Before we start, there are three questions that arise in philosophy. One is, what is the importance of philosophy? Second, why should one study philosophy? And the last, it is really significant to one's life.
Its significance is indeed true, as philosophy touches so many subjects, and especially because many of its methods can be used in any field. The study of philosophy helps us to enhance our ability to solve problems, our communication skills, our persuasive powers, and our writing skills.
Furthermore, it is through philosophy that we deeply appreciate and recognize how powerful our mind is, and consequently, we learn how to use it to its fullest capabilities.
It influences continuous progress and positive change as we begin to understand ourselves and the world around us, because philosophy is not just about learning, but putting these learnings into action. And as quoted by Ralph Waldo Emerson, an ounce of action is worth a ton of theory.
One of the necessary uses and studies of philosophy is the study of the human personhood. Have you ever wondered what essential components make up a human person? What is the precise word we're looking for is exactly what the metaphysical approach to the study of the human person analyzes and defines.
Do you think that the physical aspect is the sole component of a person? Those who disagree believe in this incorporeal element that we refer to as the mind, soul, and spirit. Mind is the consciousness, something that allows us to maintain awareness. Soul is a life-giving essence, and spirit is our immaterial identity. It is a part of us that exists outside of the body.
The possibility of an individual having a spiritual or a non-bodily human component induces the question of which component essentially defines a human person. Is it the spirit, or the body, or perhaps both? For this question, we have three potential answers. First is the unspirited body view, which holds the belief that the spiritual component of a human person does not exist. Thus, he or she is only a body, nothing more and nothing less. Second is the disembodied spirit view, which believes that the human person has both the body and the spirit, but that only the spirit is considered an essential component. On the contrary, the embodied spirit view regards the body and the spirit as both essential and dependent on one another.
The unspirited view includes claims that connect our thoughts and emotions to our physical states. The mind-brain identity theory speaks about how the mind is nothing but the brain, hence, mental states are outcomes of the nervous system's biological function. On the other hand, behaviorism claims that our mental states refer to our tendencies to show certain behaviors. It means that as we encounter stimuli, our actions would only be a response to that.
Plato and Descartes are two renowned philosophers who strongly supported the disembodied spirit view, for they both believed that the body and spirit are two distinct kinds of entities. Plato argued that the spirit is immortal, for it is immaterial, and it may reincarnate in another body once the previous body dies. Meanwhile, Descartes believed that reality is composed of mind and matter. The mind is non-physical, conscious, and has free will. On the other hand, matter is physical, non-conscious, and has no free will. As Descartes notoriously stated, "I think, therefore I am," and accordingly so, we can doubt the existence of our physical body in the world, but not our minds.
Two supporters of the embodied spirit view are Aristotle and Aquinas. To them, matter and form coexist in a human person, meaning that a body needs a soul to have life. The vegetative soul of plants and sensitive soul of animals is for growth and reproduction, and the rational soul of humans is for intelligence. However, Aristotle believes that a soul depends on the physical body, while Aquinas assumes that a part of the soul can exist independently. In his perspective, a rational soul's vegetative and sensitive soul cannot survive without the body, but the ability to think is intangible. Therefore, souls are immortal but are incomplete until they reunite with a physical form.
Marks of the mental is a mind of a human person. Is an essential feature in their personhood. In contrast, human persons are distinguished from the rest of terms of their mental capacities, rationality, and freedom. Aristotle calls the souls of a human rational souls to the unique mental capacity of a human person.
There are two approaches or methods to the question of mind identity. The first approach is the general level. It focuses on distinguishing between minds and non-minds, mental states and physical states, and how beliefs, hopes, fears, and desires differ from tables, mountains, and sunsets. Meanwhile, the specific level focuses on how to differentiate between mental states, how beliefs differ from pain, or how a belief in the existence of something differs from a belief in the absence of something. That being said, let us move on to discuss the 5 major properties of the mind or mental states: consciousness, subjective quality or qualia, intention, ontological subjectivity, and privacy.
Mental states comprise a device class including perception, pain experience, desire, intention, beliefs, emotion, and memory. Some philosophers deny all the aforementioned approaches by the holding the term mental refers a cluster of loosely related ideas without underlying unifying features shared by all. For instance, various competing theories have been proposed about what essential features of all mental states are sometimes referred to as the search of marks of the mental. Mental states are usually contrasted with physical or material aspects. There are 5 major properties of mind. To start with, consciousness is ordinarily identified with awareness, to be conscious of the things around us. How do we know if we were conscious? An example of consciousness is waking up in the morning when we are from dreamless sleep and continuing throughout the day until we fall asleep again. We are conscious of our own existence.
Subjective quality refers to how a person is conscious of his or her own mental states or experiences. For instance, the way a particular type of food tastes to a person, or the way the sunset appears to him or her. The subjective quality of our conscious experiences is referred to as the quale by philosophers of mind, or the phenomenal or experiential feel of these experiences.
Furthermore, intentionality is the property of mental states to be about something or to be directed at some objects or events in the world. Intentionality is the property of minds and mental states to be about, to represent, or to stand for things, properties, and states of affair. An example of intentionality, if I think about a piano, something in my thoughts speaks about the piano. That means these features of thoughts and words, whereby when you pick out, it refers to or about things is intentional.
Ontological subjectivity is the property of mental states that exist only insofar as the subject has them or experiences them. In this regard, mental states cannot exist independently. They are dependent on the subject to exist. Pain, fear, beliefs exist because they are entities that experience them, such as humans and animals. Meanwhile, ontological objectivity is the ability of certain things, such as physical objects, to exist independently or even without the presence of a conscious subject, such as trees and mountains.
Finally, privacy is the property of mental states to be directly known only by subject or person who has them. If I have back pain, for instance, it is only who can directly know of my back pain. Other people can know of my back pain only in an indirect way, through inference from my behavior or my verbal expression. On the other hand, non-mental states such as physical objects and events, in contrast, are objective for any reason. In principles, can directly know them.
Now that we are through with the discussion, we see how philosophy can be applied in any aspects of life. It can direct us into our thoughts and theories of mind. Therefore, philosophy enlightens us in our own curiosity and questions. That is all, and thank you for listening.